Episode 3.
Episode 3, Talking Construction. Hope people are learning things. I mean, I'm kind of making it up as I go, but whatever.
TruNORTH Construction.
So today we're going to talk about what is a contractor. I don't think people know what a contractor is. Like, I think they know that they're supposed to call one, but I don't think they know what it is. And why can't they do it themselves?
I can start with that one.
Go ahead.
I think we basically manage the process, and I don't think people realize
How many steps are
how many
involved in the
steps are in the
process?
process and what the process is. I mean, start out at the beginning. Let's start with architecture. So you either have to hire an architect, or we bring an architecture in. You still have to manage that process. You have to go out. You got to show them the house. You got to get them to draw it. You got to tell them what you want to do. You got to give them the feedback of the homeowner. So there's managing that whole design process, which we do. And then once we go from there, once the plans are approved, we then go to permits. We manage that whole process. We have to go to the town, apply for permits, go through that whole permitting process. We talked about that on one of our other episodes, right?
Yep.
And then what's after that?
We gotta get our subs lined up.
Well, then we go around and we start looking at materials and helping them with design interior stuff. We get all their materials picked out in order. That's a huge step. I mean, there's so many materials to pick out. We talked about that a million times. You have so many different facets that you have to pick out, order, get them on time, make sure they're on the job, pay for all that stuff. And then we manage
Lining up our subs, putting a schedule together, making sure it runs fluidly throughout the project.
our subcontractors, our guys, every step of the way, every phase, from demo through framing, through electrical, plumbing, HVAC, all the finishes, the flooring, the tiles, if you're doing cabinetry, granite, that's all separate pieces, all separate things that you have to manage. The painting, the trim, and then finishing everything. And then on top of that, inspections, we've talked about that. That's all.
You have to know when to line those up. You have to know, first of all, you have to know what needs to be inspected. You gotta know what phases the town inspector wants to see, and not all homeowners will know that. So you don't want to get ahead of yourself, drive all the wall, and the guy never came in and saw the insulation, Then you got to work backwards. And then, like we said, if it's a kitchen or a bathroom, that can put your house in chaos for months. We had a customer that we did a lot of the work for him, like in the kitchen, and he had a full-time job, and he said, if I had known how much went into managing this, I never would have done it myself. And in the end, he's like, I didn't save any money. I had to call out of work to manage the process. My wife would have to stay home to manage the process. It just really wasn't worth it.
Yeah, I mean, we manage the whole thing from start to finish, and every piece of that, and not only the people, the subs, and all that, but we also pay all the contractors.
Yep.
If the homeowners do it, now they're having to write checks to different trades, and you got guys coming in constantly. Hey, I need a check for this, I need a check for that. Whether it's the plumber, the electrician, now, but all the materials, I have to pay for all those materials. So we handle all that stuff too. We handle all the paying and buying process.
And as a homeowner, you have nothing to compare your numbers to that you're getting from your plumber. You haven't done it in the past, so I'm not saying that subs can take advantage of homeowners, but it can happen, and it's nice to know, have a vague idea of what things cost going into the process.
Yeah.
So basically, general contractor manage the process.
Yeah. We're adult babysitters.
So where does the crossover happen between contractor and construction?
Contractor and construction.
So like you guys.
It's all intertwined.
How?
What do you mean?
Like what parts of TruNORTH is TruNORTH and what part is subcontractors?
Oh. So for TruNORTH, we handle our own exterior work, framing, roofing, siding, windows. We'll do our own drywall. We'll do our own insulation from time to time, demolition. People that we have to bring in are specialty trades. We'll bring in electricians, plumbers, because we're not licensed to do that. A lot of times we'll bring in tile guys, or 90% of the time we have tile guys we use just because they're better than us at it. Their product's better, they're faster. You got to pick and choose what you're good at, what makes financial sense for us, and what produces the best product in the end.
Yeah.
But we're a one-stop shop for the homeowner. Our subs are an extension of our company. We work with them day in and day out. So they're not direct employees, but they're part of our team.
Yeah, and most of our trades, all our contractors we've been with for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
So they understand us.
They're friends at this point.
Yeah,
right?
they know what we expect for quality. They know about timing. When we tell them they need to be on a job, they're there.
Yeah.
And that's the other piece of it when a homeowner manages the process. We have
We have a little more pull.
when we're calling up an electrician saying, hey, you need to be here on Monday. We have a little more pull because we're paying them, and we also give them a ton of work. So
Yeah.
a homeowner might get dissed a little, pushed. Hey, I'm going to be there Monday, and then they don't show up till Wednesday, and then now the project just keeps getting pushed and pushed. So that's another part of the general contract.
We drive our subs for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
If you're a homeowner, you're the first person that's going to get pushed off if you're a sub that works for multiple general contractors. It's just how it is.
right.
So
Sounds all right.
what should you look for in a contractor as a homeowner?
When you meet them, you should be able to judge their character a little bit and see if they're trustworthy, and then do your due diligence. Look for references. In today's age, there's no reason why you can't go online and find reviews on the contractor that you're hiring.
reviews, yeah. Facebook, people are putting stuff out on Facebook. You can find people that way. I mean, you gotta just do your due diligence and look at their product, look at their website, look at their Facebook, look at all that stuff to see what they produce. If they have video testimonials, if they have any kind of testimonials. I think video testimonials are the best. Written ones, anyone can write them.
Yeah.
But when you start to see companies that have 10 video testimonials or 5 stars on Google, I think it shows you what kind of company they are, what kind of people they are, and how they handle their business. I think that's the best way.
Yeah.
Word of mouth. I mean, you can ask people too.
Word of mouth is the best, I think.
Yeah, we get a ton of
People
referrals.
you trust that aren't going to lie to you and tell you, what the general contractor wants to hear, not the person that we push your way to get a referral from. But
I really think when you meet someone, you'll see if they understand what what they're talking. You're gonna know what they're talking about. If they you can kind of feel that people don't really know what they're talking about. So I think you can base your
Just
first
an
meeting,
initial
your
meeting,
conversation with them. You'll be able to figure it out if they know how they present themselves. Do
Yeah.
they, do
Look how clean he is.
showing up in
Yeah, this
dirty
guy.
shirts.
yeah.
No, but I mean, you know what I mean? It's also about presentation too, I think. How they present themselves. Do they take notes? Do they give you business cards? Do they, the whole process.
Do they show up on time to the meeting?
Right.
That's a big step. Do they call you back? That's big.
Right.
That
Right.
puts us ahead of 50% of the people in this business.
Yeah, people don't call people
People
back.
will call people back. Even if it's a job that you're not going to do, you just call them back and give them the courtesy to,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
say, hey, sorry, this just isn't in our wheelhouse, or the job isn't big enough, or it's too big, or just give them that and maybe pass along another contractor that would more suit their project.
And we're honest with our schedule too, right up front. Right on. Typically, the people ask us, how far out are you? And we're generally telling them right away. We're a month or two out, or wherever we are. So, I think that's another piece of it. When you ask contractors.
We've said it in our other podcast, but if someone says I'll be there tomorrow, I'd be a little wary of that contractor.
Yeah, because they don't have stuff lined up.
Yeah.
So can anybody become a contractor?
Unfortunately, yes. Like legally,
So
yes.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Connecticut's one of the few states that doesn't. We have to have a license, but it doesn't require us to have any
You got
testing.
$220. Actually, I'm sure it's higher now. 200 and whatever
Yeah.
to go down and apply for a home improvement contractor license. You got one. You don't have to prove any expertise, or there's no license and no class. I would love for Connecticut to put some requirements in there, like a test, or you got to put in certain hours. Prove your worth, because it would weed out some of the riffraff contractors, and it would allow us to. I mean, unfortunately, it's a business, but allow us to charge more. We'd be paid at the same rate as like a skilled electrician or a
Right.
plumber, which there's no reason why we shouldn't be. Our job is just as important. If we don't build the house, they can't put the plumbing in it.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I wish Connecticut would do it force us to take tests.
I think it will move that way.
I think it would protect the homeowners too, because the people that are
Are
the
vetted.
people in this industry that that cause us, to people think our industry stinks is, the people that probably wouldn't even take those tests. So those people would be weeded out.
Yeah.
I mean, he referred to them as riffraff. I like to be a little nicer on them. But the people that, end up screwing people or taking off on jobs or taking people's money and that kind of crap that goes on, we pay for that actually. Part of our license, there's a fund, a portion of that fund for our license goes to this fund for Connecticut that help homeowners that contractors
screw over,
which can be completely garbage.
Yeah.
So if we did do the testing, and I would love to go talk to a state representative about doing testing, because I think it would weed out the problem and it would help us. It would help our business. Like you said, I think it would be better for us. So we'd be all for it. Connecticut's one of the few states that doesn't. It's a little disappointing.
So it seems like we put the cart before the horse a little bit with these podcasts. Talking about scheduling and cost before. We probably should have done this first.
Yeah.
But,
hey, we're learning.
But now we have the opportunity to talk a little bit about why the contractor and cost relation matters, right? So when it comes to the schedule and the cost, how do you know if you're getting lowballed and you're gonna?
If you're the home, how do you know you're getting?
Yeah, like how do you know that the price is gonna make sense?
Well, for one, get multiple bids. I don't think you need to get 12 bids, but get 3 bids to compare and contrast against each other. And then read, when you do get those bids, we've talked about this before, make sure you're comparing apples to apples, and if there's a question on the proposal, go back to the contractor and ask, what is in here for this, my allowance for the flooring or my allowance for the granite, so that you're comparing apples to apples, so that throughout the process you don't go to the granite place and they gave you a $2,000 allowance and the lowest piece of granite is $4,000. And you can do some research online too. Take their proposal and go online and say average kitchen cost, and again, you should start right there on Google. I even do it when I do estimating. There's things that I run into that I don't know what the actual cost is. I go online and I find out. I find out what a laborer is charging for X, Y, or Z. So you can do your research ahead of time before even getting contractors.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing. The best advice you can do is Google what an average kitchen remodel costs
in the state of
Because
Connecticut.
we get calls, and you'll be amazed what people think they can do a kitchen for. We'll get a call and someone like, I have a $20,000 a budget. That's not even going to pay for the cabinets.
Yeah.
And if you're moving stuff around, if you're redoing ceiling, tile, flooring, countertops, so
There's just a lot.
that would be great if people did that, because then they would understand that kind of where their costs should be. So when you see those 3 bids, you're going to probably see a low, a middle, and potentially a high. I'm always someone that says, the low person scares me because they're just trying to get the job, and then they're going to whack you on the end. The middle and the high, you have to really look at the proposals and not just the line item, like Matt was saying. Don't just look at the price. Look at the proposals and break them down and make sure you're getting the same things. And then you have to look at the 2 firms and see what do you want? Are you based on low cost or you want service? And probably the one that's going to be a little more expensive is going to offer you service, taking you to the appointments, making sure your job is right. Quality of work is going to probably come with the more expensive one. So, you're gonna if you're completely price driven, I think you potentially sometimes get into a situation where you're going to get an inferior product and an inferior service. So don't always be price driven. So
Which is tough.
Which is hard to do, but you got to look at how people are going to be treated, and what kind of service do you want? How fast do you want your project to go? If you pick someone that is going to offer more service, that project's going to go faster. They're going to be in and out of your house faster, probably, which makes your life better. Like when you take someone's kitchen out for 4 months, like that's a headache.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of pizzas and a lot of eating out, and it's frustrating. And so when you pick a company that offers really good service and customer service, they're going to get that job done faster, and they're going to get it done right. They're going to take care of you to get that kitchen back as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So I know it's hard not to be price driven. I think you have to look at both things, but you also have to weigh what people are saying and what kind of company you're going to hire. I think it's just like anything. When you go pick out a TV, do you look at the cheapest TV, or do you look at the
Best quality picture. And
the TV that looks
longevity.
the best, or the one that you think is going to be the best for you, or the brand? I mean, are you going to pick the brand you've never heard of, or are you going to pick a brand potentially that you know has a great track record? I think that's anything we do like that is how you shop.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, our industry is always so price driven a lot of times, and I think people always pick the lowest, and then they find out that man, that didn't work out the way we wanted it. So I think if they use those parameters, I think
Yeah.
they'll
Get some
pick a good
bids.
contractor. Yeah.
Look up front, Google up front what the cost is, and don't be price driven.
Right.
Was that a Progressive commercial?
Yeah, I don't know.
I do okay.
I'm gonna bullet point what Jeff just said.
Do you know the Progressive commercial? We do okay. Just
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah.
The doctor comes in.
Yeah.
He's okay.
Oh, yeah, he's all right.
Yeah.
Not the best. I've seen that one.
I'm nervous. Are you?
Yeah. I mean, there's some projects in the house. You could. There's sometimes you can get away with going with a cheaper guy, but if you're doing, you can be price driven for things. Say your roof.
Let's
say
cut
your-
this right
Yeah,
out.
cut this out. That was stupid. I'm gonna say like the big projects.
He's arguing my point.
No. I'm saying like cut that right the fuck out.
Well, no, I think it's important that there are some people that are on a budget and they do have to be
And there's
mindful of their budget.
Right.
But there are things that can be done inside of their $20,000 remodel for a kitchen that may not be a full remodel.
Yeah,
it may
sure.
not be a full renovation. It
And
might.
We've talked about that in the past. If you're upfront and honest with people and tell them, if you know what your budget is, I can't spend more than $20,000, and we've said it a million times. We're trying to do this now. This is our whole new way of
Way of
attacking
vetting
it.
people before we.
If people say I got $20,000 for this kitchen, we're going to tell you what you can do in that with that 20 grand. Like if you tell us what your budget is, we're going to tell you what your scope can be. And a lot of times people don't tell us; they're afraid to tell us that. But if it's your budget, then just tell us your budget. We're going to design a project that's going to fit you, and you're going to be happy with that.
Yeah.
Because 9 out of 10 times, the thing that you really want and the dream you have about what this remodel is going to be, it's going to be
Unattainable.
a lot more expensive than you think about.
Right, and I think that's the difference, right? The difference between price shopping and being on a budget.
Mhm.
Price shopping, you're being cheap. You have the money, you just don't
Yeah.
want to spend it. Being on a budget means just be honest with us what you have so we can give you what you need or what you want.
Yeah.
Right. Because we see it all the time. People come to us with these, we've talked about it past, these elaborate plans,
They spend a lot of money on it.
and they have no idea what it costs. No idea what it costs. And then they get all this cost, and they can't do the project. The project stalls because there's no way they can do it. And then what do they do? They have to go back and redo the plans to make it fit their
For
budget.
thousands of dollars.
So if they started out the other way, it helps. You start out with the budget, and then you design a project to fit that budget. It works better that way.
Yeah.
We got good stuff.
Your phones are ringing off the hook.
Just once.
No, like 10 times.
It's
Really?
blowing up.
Oh man, I gotta get to work. We got more stuff here? Oh,
No, I think that's. I
yeah.
think
That's
we
good.
covered.
Jeff killed it today. Nice work. I mean, you're just on fire. I think you're excited. That's what it is.
I think
You're all
because
jacked up.
I think so. I was talking to that girl yesterday, and she's talking about getting on TV. And I think at the end of it, she's like, "I think we can definitely put you on TV. It'd be really good." I said, "What about my business partner? We gotta have you on too, right?
What, TV on what?
Like we get on better."
You guys gotta go together.
Oh, you were talking to who?
It's not gonna be just one of you. You guys
Who
gotta
were you
go together.
talking to?
The marketing firm.
She said get you on?
No, she said you'll do pretty good on TV. And I said, "Well, I said we're getting used to it. We started out, we were all uncomfortable. Now we're getting used to it. I mean, it takes a while.
I see how it is.
Remember the first
Trying
time?
to slip your way on TV without me. Whatever. I'll just go to work, start swinging that hammer. All right, balls.
No, we gotta have you on part of the show. I'm gonna do trucker hats for TruNORTH
Yeah.
with the logo on the side. I'm gonna order some up.
Ed Hardy style?
I like it.
Right?
You
Yeah.
can get it halfway down the brim.
Can you
All right.
get it with the snapback, you're saying?
No, flex fit.
Flex fit?
No, I get snapbacks, I think.
Get snapback because,
You gotta get snapback
Love
with
that
trucker
sound.
hats.
Snapback.
yeah, trucker hats are snapbacks.
Yeah, I get snapbacks. Because I'm gonna start racing again. Because I'm feeling better. And I'm gonna run. If I do another Ironman, I'm
I mean, now that I'm
full.
training.
I mean, fuck. Let's get this guy some gear.
Went on 2 hikes.
He's riding his bike around with a ding 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 ding.
Yeah,
a little
oh, you
fucking-
should see this bike. You would laugh so hard.
Tell me it doesn't.
Oh my god, I think there's a seat thing on, like a thing on the back to put stuff on.
Is there a basket with a little thing?
And it's like green and like purple.
Does it have those little things coming off the
It
handlebars?
doesn't have tassels on it.
Does it have this? The little ding 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 ding?
No, it's a real bike, but it's just
That's a real bike.
old.
I can see. So I want to do like if I do another Ironman, I want to do full TruNORTH gear. So I'm probably gonna do a half next year. Now that I'm
Half Ironman?
Now that my tick stuff's, I'm feeling so much better.
Really?
Oh my god, my energy level's back.
I gotta find out about
My
that.
feet aren't hurting anymore. It's so weird.
Wait a minute, your feet?
Completely fine now.
I got a bad toe, but someone said gout, but it's only when I work and run around on it. It's not like,
I just sprained it.
yeah, probably.
But I couldn't run for a year and a half because my feet were so bad. Now I've been running
You're
7
fine.
miles, no problem. Man, my feet feel great. Ran this morning 4 miles. I'm back, baby.